Hey guys, how's it going? We're in one more edition of our podcast, which is This Is Not in the Playbook. And today we're really excited because we're here with Carlos, with me, but we're also with Tim, with Ruchy, and with our guest, David. And we came here just to have fun and just to do a little dance, and you're gonna see it on the episode. But we wanna talk a little about how all this that connects people, because David talks a lot about human connection. And I think that the best way that we can connect with people is just doing things that we like. So today we decided on dancing Lindy Hop. Yeah. David, how did you get to know Lindy Hop and how everything happened?
Lindy Hop, right? And
Yeah.
We all drifted into it in a different way. My wife is a ballroom dancer. Yeah. And she tried to get me into ballroom dancing. I tried my hardest for about 6 months, but it didn't work out. It's not my thing. But then I found myself at a Lindy Hop dance with a live swing band. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I like. A live swing band at Lindy Hop, this is great. So I dug in deep. That was about 1.5 years ago. And I've taken private lessons, I've taken group lessons, I've gone to these other, a bunch of different dances. And it's really great because it's all kinds of different people I would never meet otherwise. It's a human connection. We're spending, look, we all got our phones out, right?
Yes.
You have your phones out. We all spend so much time here. It's so much better to spend time here with people. 100%. And so my mind exploded. I'm like, this is what I like to do. This is what I'm going to continue to do. And I want to get better at my dance, and I want to enjoy it. So yeah, it's been life-changing for me, to be honest with you.
And it was life-changing for us, because if not, we've never met. So it was just a fun experience to come here, because we met Tim and Ruchy, and you guys met around dancing.
And now you're going to come to the next social dance they have here, right?
Yeah, and they're going to be coming to our event. Exactly. So how did it start?
How did us?
Yeah, the dance and then
the dance and then you together.
Yeah.
This dance tradition, I think, is really actually interesting to understand where does Lindy Hop come from, and it comes from, it's an African American dance tradition, and when you start seeing like more advanced steps or rhythms and the way that like the communication happens within the dance and in the music, because what's happening in the music is exactly the same thing that's happening on the dance floor, just expressed differently, because it's kind of the same art form, but it's really this community space that it gets created. It creates kind of this safe space as well, where everybody's free to express and be themselves, and that speaks to the origin of the dance, because it was created by the African American community in the 20s, in the 30s, when it wasn't exactly easy to be African American in the US, in New York at that time, and they created these safe spaces where they could express, where they could connect. And the white community would go and see it and also be welcomed there. Like if you were cool, you were in, right? And I think that speaks a lot to kind of things that we can learn from the African American community and dance traditions and community traditions. Is like, if you're in, if you're able to flow, if you're able to communicate, see eye to eye, smile, you're in. You have something to share. And I think that's something that's really beautiful about walking into a swing dance, because in whatever context you're in, when you walk into a swing dance, that's kind of what you feel. It's like, oh wow, if I can just smile, people start smiling at me. And then people start asking me to dance. And then things start to happen. And then you fall in love and get married and move to Mexico.
What you never thought about, but I mean, it's just dancing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I also share with you the experience of entering a place and seeing live music and a floor of people dancing and pumping and moving and grooving and saying the same, like, oh, whoa, oh, wow, this is the dance I want to dance to. Because I was dancing also like other things like salsa. We dance here in Mexico a lot. But I was never really into dancing. But I was totally focused on the spirit of the dance of Lindy Hop.
Experience, right?
Of the experience, of the self, of the enchanting thing that brings the joy of Lindy Hop. And then, yeah, I fell in love immediately and said, I want to dance this, I want to share this. And I came back to Mexico because I learned this in Europe. And I came back to Mexico looking for the Lindy scene. And, well, there was just a lot of danzón. And there was a lot of salsa, of course, and bachata, cumbia, whatever we know about the Latin dances. And the Lindy was missing. I knew that the spirit of Lindy was missing. The spirit of swing was missing in its it could bring a lot of bounding with our cultures and things. So I started swing dancing and teaching in this place that we built. It's our house. Welcome to our house.
Thank you.
We just opened our patio and built the dance floor. And that's when I invited my friend Tim, because we met in Europe as well, dancing in festivals. And I had told him, like, hey, we just got this patio of our house. We just drilled the whole floor, and me and my sister, we did everything so we could have a dance floor for our own.
You did it yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is ourselves.
That's amazing.
Like drilling and painting, and we wanted to have our own space with our own rules, with our own structure, with our own elements that nobody was telling us how to do it. We needed to bring the spirit that we learned, that we were getting, into a safe space. So this is how this place came along. And then Tim came to Mexico. He flew you were living in India. Yeah, so he flew and started helping us to teach dancing. So he was the teacher. We were the space places. And then it just started growing. It's been like 15 years from that, like
Wow.
14 years. So we started building a community here in Mexico around swing dancing.
I mean, whenever we do this podcast, we talk a lot about business and just building marketing and sales structure. But sometimes I think it gets boring. You talk a lot about it because if you just try to sell something to people, there's not actually a connection. Like, you just try to sell a product. What do you think about just creating a community, creating something else?
Yes, I think that when digital marketing started, from that point to now and after the pandemic, like everybody is looking into doing more digital stuff. We were talking right before, like the essential is like the bonding between the persons and the human connection that is needed, like in every process, like in a sales, in a company, in every part. And I was asking you about what's going on in the States, that I heard a lot of people talking about young males.
Well, I mean, I think
they're being lonely.
I think that there's so many bad elements of online right now. There's the algorithms that drive the social networks, especially Facebook, drive polarization. Mm-hmm. And because the social networks want you to be polarized, because then you're on the system longer, because you're angry.
Exactly.
And artificial intelligence, you don't even know who's real anymore. Like, I'll be on a website or something. Is that person real, or is that person artificial intelligence? But when you get on a dance floor, you're not dancing with artificial intelligence. You're dancing with a human. And I think there's so much to be tied to marketing around that human connection of how you can bring that into business is really, really important, especially now. And you know, I've been doing this digital marketing thing for more than 20 years, and it's still important. But now it's even more important to bring back that humanity.
I think that sometimes brands, whenever they start selling something, especially on social media, especially on the online space, they forget sometimes that they're selling to people. And I think that's what this story is all about, because you started this place without social media, without internet, because you wanted people to connect. And I think whenever you can use the channels to drive more connection, to scale this connection, but we need to remember that we're selling to people, that people have emotions. And I think that just to this point, just creating a community it's the best way because we were talking. As Black and Orange as a company, we sell a lot to home services industries in the US. HVAC companies, landscaping companies, plumbing companies. And sometimes they forget, and that's what we see, that they're selling the same thing that all of the rest of the companies are selling.
Absolutely.
And they are doing the same ads and the same communication. If they understand that they're connecting with people, that they're making their home better, that they're having better memories because of them, then they start connecting, they start creating a community. We were talking about this in the car. And I think this is really important.
So when I wrote this book called Fanocracy, one of the things that that was most surprising was that whatever it is that you're passionate about, if you bring that passion into your business, that people remember it and people appreciate it. So for example, I know both of you are into Ironman triathlons or something. I can't even imagine doing that. But bringing that into your business, like so people know that you're different and you've got this thing that you're passionate about. And me doing this, Lindy Hop, and bringing this into my business, it's really a great way to stand out from the crowd. Because if everybody is just focused on their business, like you said, if it's just a plumber, and here's a plumber who loves to go fly fishing, or here's a plumber that loves to go mountain biking, and they talk about that in their business and on their website and in their social media, I'm going to choose the one that's interesting. I'm going to choose the plumber who likes to go mountain biking, not just another different plumber.
Yeah, the one that has something in common with
someone who's passionate.
And I think that's the story that you were talking about when we got here, because that's what you did. I mean, you started dancing, you loved dancing, and you've created a space around that dancing.
That's right.
How was that experience like?
I think, and first of all, creating a space where people can come and live an experience, I think is something really beautiful. It's like offering a transformation. It's like offering, people come in and this house specifically is really special. People come in, they never leave. They don't leave the same. We've seen a lot of people come to the door and be like, "What is this place?" But I think you combine that with the rhythm, with the dance floor full of people dancing, the smiles, the connection, the human connection that's happening behind that, and it really is special. And I think David's right, is like it's needed more and more. Every day that goes forward is like, there are less cultural centers in Mexico City. There are less spaces to enjoy these kind of experiences. Swing, particularly, just because of the culture of it, is so fantastic. You get people breathing in rhythm together. You get people moving together. It's like tangible. You can see kind of floating over the dance floor, like, I don't know, this kind of awareness of everybody's together and enjoying this moment. And I think one thing that we've always really tried to do in our productions, and taking it into any, I think, business direction too, is like, how do we create an aha moment? How do we create like this moment of ecstasy, in the sense of where like everybody's dopamine is just like firing like crazy, and oxytocin, they're all like, wow, what is this? How do you kind of combine the elements in a right way so that everything happens, so that there's at least one moment that's just unforgettable, right? And if you can achieve that, and if you can, you achieve that on a regular basis, night after night. And in swing, it happens really naturally because people get into a circle and they clap and maybe celebrate a birthday, or there's a jam. And a jam is when people get in the middle and do their biggest tricks and improvise, and everybody just kind of it's one moment of total focus on one thing that's happening. And I think there's a lot of things that just kind of come together when that happens as a community, when a lot of people's attention are focused on one point, and everybody's excited at the same time. You kind of get this, it's kind of the ingredients for this experience that goes beyond the self a little bit. And I think swing just kind of offers that naturally. You know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful,
when there's another aspect of it that's important to me. I'm 64 years old, and it's very inclusive. It's inclusive of different ages and backgrounds. It's inclusive of sexual orientation or
even people that has never done it, because I know that Carlos and me, we've never done it.
And inclusive of people who are beginners, absolutely. And I think that's great. You know, I dance with men a lot. I dance with people. I've danced with teenagers. I've danced with people in their 80s. You know, it's really, really great that it's not focused on ability as much, or focused on oh, you're older than me, or you're younger than me, or whatever. It's very, very, very inclusive, which is, I think it's great, because that's hard to find these days. It's really hard to find when people come together and can enjoy doing something, no matter who they are, and that's beautiful, I think.
You know, most spaces will have a code of conduct. You know, like it's part of the rule book. Like, you know, and you will be asked to change your attitude if you're not being inclusive, or if you're being, like, you will be asked, and in some cases you'll be asked to leave, because we do protect that ambience that David's talking about. It's like, yeah, people need to come in here and feel at home and feel safe. Yeah.
So what do you think are some of the things that business can start doing? Because there are many influencers that call the boring businesses, for example. Even that name or prejudging like with that is because they all sound the same.
Right.
So how a business owner can start doing or thinking and doing something different to be different, and like they should have to relate their passion with the business?
I think there's two things that make sense. One is any way you can bring humanity into it. Mm-hmm. Any way you can bring humanity into it. Like something as simple as showing us photographs of your employees, showing photographs of your employees doing the things that they love, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. And what's interesting to me about that is you don't have to be a swing dancer to mm-hmm. appreciate that somebody likes to do swing dance. And I'm not going to do an Ironman. It's never going to happen. But I can appreciate that you guys like. But I can appreciate that you guys like to do it.
Parentheses. He is the fittest person I ever known, with 60 VO2 max. He's 20 more than me.
So he could do an Ironman. But yeah, I understand. I mean,
but people want to do business with people that have passion, 100%. and so that's really important. And then showing us who you are, showing us your humanity, because so many. You go to a typical company website, and there's photographs of all the bosses, and they have a formal, like maybe even a tie and jacket, and they don't have pictures of other people, just the bosses. But I want to see everybody. Or if it's a huge company, I want to see representatives of that company.
Because at the end of the day, that's people that you're going to be working with most of the time.
That's right.
So you want to know who they are. And you know, this is really interesting because I've never thought about it. I mean, you guys, you do something that's pretty cool, and you want to put pictures about the ambience and everything around it. But you gave me a really good idea, because whenever you go to our website, I mean, we have pictures of the team and things, but it's amazing just having whatever they like, because you're working with real people. And if they're passionate about something, chances are that they're going to be passionate about the business, and they're going to giving you a better service.
That's exactly right.
And you don't realize that whenever you're like you're like a horse that you're just seeing what you want to do in business, but you don't realize that people don't want just to buy a product. You talk a lot about this on Fanocracy. Yeah. People should be selling what? Something else more than a product?
No, they should just be selling a relationship. It's a human relationship. It's not yes, you eventually buy a product or service, but the relationship is super important.
So one thing that I feel in this scenario that we have with dancing, and the energy of passion, you can see passion in kids. You can see passion in musicians.
Yes.
You can see passion in the flowers of a tree. You can see passion in the beauty of life. Like when we are bringing humanity in our businesses, which makes all the sense. How can we improve all this, what we're learning, into a better business and marketing? Yeah, bring humanity, and bringing the passion makes a beautiful merging, right? We're connecting those two elements. And that's why dancing is so clear. It's like, it's a connection of human bodies, passionate of movement and dance. And if me as mother, for example, when I'm raising my kids, one of the most important elements that I'm nurturing in my kids, one is confidence, and the second one is passion. So it makes all the sense that if I am nurturing my passion with my dancing, or if I'm not dancing with my Ironman, or just walking in nature because that's my passion to watch whatever it's happening to me, and I nurture myself, I can nurture my kids. So it's the same what you're saying. I can nurture my passion, I can nurture my business.
Yeah, and you can use the same elements to nurture your business, absolutely.
And when you see a kid being nurtured by passion, it's a wonder. You can say, oh, wow, how is this kid just like learning and discovering and trying to try more things and being more open and making more risky things, to develop more things and invent. And that's when the joy of life starts just creating. No, passion is like a creation of it. And when I understand marketing, which I'm not at all professional on it, I understand how to make it visible, and you just want to grab it, you want to bite it, right? It's like you're drilling the business, like because it's passion inside.
I think you understand marketing better than most people that say that they understand marketing. Because what I think is, whenever you get into business, you get into a point. Carlos was saying this, it gets boring because you want to do everything perfect. And whenever you want to do everything perfect, you start losing out on things that actually generate marketing. Whenever you do whatever you do, you like it, you make the space feel like home, that's kind of marketing, because you're giving your space something that the space maybe next door is not going to have. Yeah. And I think the business like this, and something that I love about what you said is, you need to be confident. Because sometimes in the business, whenever you're not confident enough, you try to use whatever you can. Use your experience, use these fancy words, use sometimes things that don't actually connect. Yeah. When you're confident, then you can use whatever you do. I never thought about having a picture of you on the website, maybe doing Ironman.
You should be.
But you need to be confident to do this. No, never in the home. He would do it. But yeah, this is amazing.
I think I think something that is true, in my opinion, is when we are isolated, we are at risk of losing our confidence. And when we're together, when we have like some kind of connection, we have a support network that helps us maintain our confidence. And especially when, like in B2B businesses, when we're working together, like the idea is to come in and give confidence to the other team that they can do what it is that the other service offers, right? And so, and that's through structure, through clarity, maybe some breath work if we have it. Then don't forget to breathe. But just providing that very clear idea that you're not alone, that we got your back on this side, right? And so, and I think. I think if we learn to not isolate ourselves, and again, going back to swing is like you're not isolated on the dance floor. You're together and you're in it, right? And I think that's something. I think it's so common that everybody works at the home. We have home office. You're there 8 hours. You were with your team the whole day in meetings, and it's so important because that's the reality, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But how do we? Maybe there's some small elements that we can place in as a team or with a client that just help build relationships faster, and if it's kicking off the meeting with a couple jokes, maybe that's one way to do it. But maybe there's some actual exercises that we can do too. Like Ruchy, when she kicks off her sessions, she gets everybody up dancing. Like she has them move and breathe for a couple minutes to get them in their bodies and get them connected.
Yeah, and I think based on whatever you like. I mean, Carlos, he loves doing jokes all the time. Yeah. You're gonna see tomorrow in the event.
Great.
And that's the way he gets started the crowd, and it works because it's you. So I think that's.
There was one day when we were with a client in the States, and I was with my puppy in front of the camera, and Alan was like, "Oh no, this guy again." But it created a connection because that person says, "Oh, I love that puppy," and then we started a conversation around puppies, and then that meeting was supposed to be a little bit tense because the client was not very happy, not understanding some things, and then that pressure comes down when you show your human side. And I think that's something that business have to start seeing, as Tim said, everybody's home working and not going out that much, and we're inside of our comfort zone, and humans get used to something, and we're getting used to that. So,
and that's one reason why I like to bring the dance into my speech. And I've only done it a couple of times, but having thank you for coming, having you come and we do a little bit of a dance, and people are like, what's going on? This is supposed to be a business conference. What is this guy dancing up there for? But it gets people to think in a different way. And it gets them to think about, oh, okay, maybe I can bring the thing I like to do into my work. Maybe I can do something a little bit different. Maybe I can bring the humanity in.
Well, why do you think we have been losing our humanity in this digital world, or what's been happening?
I think that that because the algorithms are so powerful, they know how we think. They know what's going on deep in our brain, those algorithms, and they suck you in, and you really have to force yourself not to get sucked in. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're scrolling news. That's something I do probably too often, is look at the various news websites, or social media, or whatever it might be. It's hitting that part of your brain that wants those hits every once in a while. But tearing that away and putting another kind of hit, which is like a dancing hit, or an Ironman hit, that's much better, much more real, much more what, we humans for thousands and thousands of generations have communicated in person. That's what we know, over around the fire in 10,000 years ago. And it's only been in the last few years that we're communicating like this. And I don't think we all know what it's doing to our brain. And so I think for me personally, I need to step back. But I think for businesses to force a way to step back is also important. And yes, digital is important. That's how people find companies to work with. And so you still need to focus on digital. But just recognizing that there's so many other ways that we humans should be connecting, that digital has only been around for a very short period of time.
There is a new philosopher, how do you say philosopher, from Korea, I think that his name is Byung-Chul Han, and he has a book that calls that the democracy doesn't exist anymore. because of the algorithms,
Yeah.
because they polarize the thinking
they
of
do.
the people.
Yeah.
For example, if I am Republican and I go to Facebook, I will only see Republican
Yes.
stuff like they
That's
are the
right.
best and they're against the Democrats.
It's worse than that.
And
it's
the Democrats,
it's not that they're the best, but they say everything that's bad about the other side.
Exactly. And the Democrats have the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes in business we do this
Yeah.
because we talk about the other company or as if it's bad. And I think that's a red flag, a big red flag whenever you're buying something and someone's telling you something bad about the other company. It's like, so that's not real. It's just like you're telling me what's wrong with them, but what's good with you. And I think we need to go back and just take a step back as businesses and understand what are we doing for people?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going to be buying. So just to close it out, guys, maybe we can say one thing. If we could tell one thing to the audience, which is going to be especially owners of home services business, marketers, salespeople, what would be one thing that they could start doing today? It's not going to change everything with one thing, but to get them started, to get them breathing, to get them dancing.
Breathing. I would say share your passions. Whatever you love to do, share that with your existing and potential customers.
What do you think, Ruchy?
I would say allow yourself to feel what you are feeling in the moment that you are feeling, and don't judge yourself for what you are feeling. So if it's a bad day, go into bad day. Don't take it too personal, but let yourself feel what you are feeling, and that will be humanity nourishing.
What do you think, Tim?
I would say
Breathe.
breathe.
That was good.
I would say focus on transformation. Like how is it that what I do can really transform somebody? And we transform through education and through sharing experiences and sharing human connection, and also like, you know, understanding that we're kind of limitless in a way, that we can learn in any direction and we can grow in any direction. And I think that's, you know, ultimately when we're stuck in our phones, kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for some kind of experience, but it's not going to give it to us. The algorithm won't serve it to us, but human connection will. And human connection, we have the ability to help the other transform for the good, for the better, for whatever direction they want to go. So I think finding the key to transformation is what I would say.
And I will say, have children. Yeah, because that's, for me, like the new human experience that I am living, and it's getting me to connect with other people. For example, when I call with Ruchy, like, oh, I have a baby, oh, me too. And then you start sharing like what you're struggling and some experiences, and then you bond a little bit more, and then you can start talking later about business, and now we are here, so have children.
Passion.
And I would say just try new things. I mean, we always say that if you're doing something and it's not working, just don't keep doing whatever you're doing. Just try new things and be confident and be aggressive about just trying things and give value to people, because stop selling products. And you say it a lot in your book. Just stop selling products. It's good that you have a good product. We all sell something. Just start selling experiences. Start selling whatever you are and give it something different, because people are not going to remember the brand that is selling something. They're going to remember the experience, as you were saying. So try to find a way to make people to remember you, because people are not going to buy right away. They're going to buy sometime in the next maybe year, in the next month. If you don't do something different, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to buy from you. So guys, this is really fun.
Yeah, it was.
And thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, pleasure.
And
Thank you,
David, for the idea. It was amazing.
It's a good idea, right?
Great idea.
Great idea.
Thanks for getting us up and dancing. It was great. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.